And yes, we had left off in the kitchen. So, the things that we know. Collected documents. Seems to rearrange itself every time we come in here. Harris Bullard, or Bullard, I think, is, pretty much a scientist who was found dead on the 20th of September 1965. That was about 5 days ago, I think. And, we are a reporter who is looking into the case. We are not actually with the police, we are not with the coroner's office, nothing like that. We are just a reporter looking into the story. And, let's see, coroner ruled that the death was natural, but might have been hypothermia. How do you freeze someone to death in the summertime? Yeah, that is a good question. And basically, we know he was an inventor and sort of a spiritualist who was working on a thing, essentially kind of a way of bringing out the subconscious mind. Pretty much, you know, the, headcanon of this particular game is that the subconscious mind knows things that the conscious mind does not. Like, they gave the example of dowsing rods. Subconsciously, you are able to see the incredibly subtle signs that indicate where water is. And so someone who is actually good at dowsing will let their subconscious mind take over, and that will actually point to the water, even though consciously they don't know where water might be underground. And there was another example, it's somewhere in all of these collected documents that we have. It's like, look at this, musings and research docs, blackmail notes, daily logs, newspaper clippings, miscellaneous letters from Cynthia, the Crystal Caves, Joe's diary, and notes to Joe. Somewhere in this mess is the other example, which I'm now currently actually forgetting, but just another example of ways in which the subconscious mind is more alert and aware and knows more than the conscious mind does in certain things. So, long story short, he's trying to invent things that will bring out this subconscious mind and sort of connect you to it consciously. Excuse me. And, let's see. Other profiles. We have Cynthia Beckman, his ex-wife. She inherits this estate, this house that we're in. She tried to reconnect with Bullard since their breakup. Pretty much, and all of these are the suspects for the murder. Pretty much her reason for the murder would be the most mundane. We know she was struggling a bit, and we know she had, immediate intentions as soon as, you know, like, 4 days after he was found dead, she had everything set up for the house and most of the belongings to be put up to auction. So, no love lost, no anything, just, oh, he's dead, bam, gone, money, mine. So that would be her motive. We have Bobby Sawyer, the errand boy for Bullard. Basically, once he started working on his inventions after he left the college he had been at, he sort of became a total recluse. And so Bobby Sawyer here became his errand boy, going out for food, going out for, you know, materials and paper and all that kind of stuff that you would actually need to leave the house for. He's the one who found Bullard's body. He is an aspiring fiction writer. He evidently stole mail for Bullard, and he may or may not know who Woodcutter is. Woodcutter, as our primary suspect, is a man who is blackmailing Bullard. Basically, he knew that Bullard was just about to invent something goddamned amazing that would change the face of science, and Woodcutter really wanted in on that. He was more or less saying, actually, oh, didn't want to exit out entirely. Where'd you go? Blackmail notes. I am Woodcutter. Your past has caught up with you. It is over. Okay, thought we actually had more relevant blackmail notices, but, essentially, you know, Woodcutter knows all that and is saying, you know, give me money and your research or I'm going to kill you, sort of, threatening blackmail. Okay, Josie Herrera. Live-in research assistant, ordered by Bullard to destroy the research and split. Basically, once Bullard knew that he was going to be killed for his research, he said to Josie, or just Joe, you know, just take what you can, destroy the rest, get out of here so that you are also safe. She came to Kansas to look for her father and then began working with Bullard, has recurring dreams about her mother's death, and has been helping Bobby Sawyer with his writing, that being the, fictional thing here, the Crystal Cave. It's just a, well, it's a work of fiction, but it's kind of excessively disturbing. Let me just, yeah, right, here we go. The man was covered in tattoos. He had photos taken of the body, all naked and everything. He put the pictures up on his wall at the little station, started moving them around, turning this way and that, until the tattoo edges started to line up. Took him 3 days, but he put it together just like a jigsaw puzzle, until the thick lines all connected to the thin lines, and the overall shape became clear. Would you believe it? It was a map. When the coroner cut the man open, he found his insides were all twisted into the same map. And when he sawed into the man's bone, they found the map there too, etched into the marrow like rings on a tree stump. Well, that's how we first found our way to the cave. I reiterate, the man's insides were twisted into a map. And he was tattooed into the map, and it was etched into his goddamn bones. That's kind of fucked up. Anyways, Graham Wellington, a professor at Oakley College Neuroscience Department. That was, the same college that Bullard was working at, and the same department. Bullard's former colleague claimed credit for a research paper Bullard wrote. Working with my editor on some plan to get famous? Trying to steal Bullard's research? And this has basically been, it has been my deduction and assumption from the things we've gathered so far that, Woodcutter was most likely, what's his name there, Wellington. Cupboard's been mostly emptied. Somebody was in a rush to pack this stuff. Pots and pans. They haven't been packed very well. No, they really haven't. Anything else interesting? Stovetop is clean. It probably works. Anything in the oven? Doesn't seem like it. Another door. That's the door that leads back into the, office, I think. No! That is not the office. Okay. Oh, I should mention. Okay, we have a small knob, which we can't use quite yet, an old key, a safe combination, I think. And, yeah, these were the first things we found, were these lenses to go onto this mask. And this mask, basically, is the first of the subconscious things that he invented. This lets you see things you otherwise would not. A couple of the clues we found using this mask, pretty much, I was able to see a set of floorboards that I would not have noticed otherwise. But by using the mask, it pointed out to me Yeah, the floorboards were indeed odd, and I was able to pry them up and find a thing. I've also seen many demons while wearing this mask. Haven't been able to interact with them as of yet, but yeah, demons. Also, there are creepy things wandering around. There have been some very effective, like, by far the most effective horror things going on. Like, we walk into a room, it has a television, it's broken, doesn't turn on. We walk out, do other things, when we come back, it's on, just not on any channel, just one of those old-timey, you know, station off things where it's emitting that beep. And I didn't even really interact with it, it was just there, I realized it was on, looked over at it, and then shortly later it turned off on its own. So yeah. And, you know, like, we walk past a mirror, and for a couple of seconds there's another person in the mirror. No big musical sting, no major thing letting us know. Yeah, just, so far, very effective horror things, because, by and large, this game is a mystery game and a point-and-click adventure game first, and second, really, and a horror game third. So then, patent office, eyewear with electromagnetic refracting lenses, filed November 7th, 1959. Cool. This is indeed Dead Secret. A pair of goggles is provided, which includes a metal strip, a battery of lenses, an assembly which, when placed over the eyes so that it rests against the head, permits the metal strip to touch the skin just above the left ear and crossing the forehead to touch the skin above the right ear as well. The function of the metal strip is to detect upon contact electromagnetic impulses from the brain and to transmit them to the lenses. The lenses are created from a glass material, reference corresponding is made to alter its refraction of light based on electromagnetic impulses received from the metal strip and amplified by the battery. This invention relates to the visualization of electromagnetic activity in the brain, and more particularly the creation of visual patterns based on the neural activity of the subconscious. Well, there you go. As if we needed more proof of that's exactly what this is. Oh, hey. Nifty nifty, Zeta. Coffee can that's frozen shut. I can hear something rattling around inside. Cool. Can we pour hot water on it? Hey, hey, hey. So, turn water off. No need to be a jerk. Looks like a blank sheet of paper. Is there something special about it? Interesting. Can't say I blame you there, Zeta. Ooh. Harris Boulard, I am woodcutter. You have 5 days. I am coming. Okay, we have another ransom note. Nothing in the drawers. Let's not go too far here. Bobby, here's a list of supplies this week. I know you're angry that I haven't paid in a month. Well, there's a minor motive for murder. I have some money coming and I will be able to pay you soon. Cigarettes, tonic water, white bread, butter eggs, copper wire, solder spool, vinyl tape, gasoline, butane, leeches. That's right, the invention uses leeches. Alright, so yes, he has probably the weakest motive for murder so far next to the assistant. You will complete your research and then hand it to me, or we can discuss the South Pacific in 1944. Haven't learned about that yet. Looks like they just threw the dishes in. And various food items. If you had this much food, what was Boulard paying Bobby Sawyer to get? Sure is a pantry. Hey, a bottle. Groovy. Ah, yes, we do need lots of empty bottles for the, device. Let's actually go and... That's interesting then, Ark. Since it says... Oh, okay. Guess not. Thought maybe that would be the 4th bottle, but, oh no, never mind, there are 4 additional bottles needed. Now I see. Okay, so... And it turns, but the door won't open. Something is blocking it. On the other... Okay, used old door key, found bathroom with leeches. Yuck. We'll need those for later, though. Oh, it's just another one of the Crystal Cave. I'll wait on reading that until we get all of the pages of that. Let's see. Cold winter increases risk of exposure. December 1964. Temperatures below 20 for most of the state. Experts warn that deaths from hypothermia are on the rise. Several deaths have already been attributed to the cold this year, including 2 hikers found south of Ottawa and a man in Wichita. December is one of the deadliest months, said Charles Manning, Chief Medical Officer at Ottawa PD. People don't realize how cold it's gotten, and go out unprepared. Profound hypothermia occurs when a person's core body temperature drops below 90 degrees F. However, scientists do not yet understand why the deep cold kills some people and spares others. According to Manning, men are at greater risk than women, and the cold is particularly dangerous for thin people. Identifying death by hypothermia can be a challenge, said Manning. If the victim is found in the snow with his clothes half off, then we know. But sometimes bodies aren't recovered until much later, often without a mark on them. Scientists do not understand why some victims of hypothermia remove their clothing, a phenomenon called paradoxical undressing, while others do not. Last March, the body of a 30-year-old woman who had been missing for several days was found near Topeka. After failing to identify the cause of death, the coroner chalked it up to exposure to the elements. The easiest way to stay safe is to not go out alone in the cold, especially at night. If you must go out, make sure that other people know where you're headed and dress warmly. If you're in a car accident, stay in the car. Don't try to hoof it on to the next town on your own. And yes, even things like that are handy, given that, yeah, they believe that our murder suspect may have died of hypothermia. Okay. Nothing in the toilet. Hey, flashlight. Which doesn't have any batteries. Why would it? Oh, well. What? Why? Okay. Thanks, game. And let's see. Attempted coup fails in Iraq. Let's see. President Johnson boned up on reports and correspondence to be arranged today, pending arrival of cabinet officials for a wide-ranging review of defense and foreign programs. Anything of relevance here? Sometimes these newspaper stories are relevant, sometimes they are not. Yeah, what topped the charts? Not really relevant. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah.
Dad took me to Wichita once before he died. We drove for 4 hours to get there, ate hamburgers, and watched a movie. Then we went home. He never explained, just told me to get in the car. I guess he knew he was going to die.
Yeah, that's the thing I forgot to mention. This game has voice-acted backstory, and the voice acting is the worst. It's just downright terrible. But we will not hold that against the game, since everything else has been quite nifty. There we go, now we're back in the study. So, we have a flashlight without batteries, and that was the TV. Still broken. That was the mirror where we temporarily saw a thing that was not actually there. I said this before, Shade, and I'm saying it again. All of us are better voice actors than the woman who did the voice acting for this game. And I'm not going upstairs again yet. Going to try to put that off, because, last time we went upstairs, we got chased by a thing in a mask that was up there on the wall before, and is now gone. Great. Let's just double check around and see if there are any other items. Can't go in the basement yet because we are still lacking batteries.